Hi, I'm Cherilyn, and welcome to New View, New Life, where we explore enlightening, empowering new perspectives and simple, natural ways to care for your body, mind, and home as you create a vibrant, balanced, and abundant life that you love.
The information in this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Please make informed decisions and take responsibility for your own health choices.
I am so glad you pressed play today. I know you've got a lot on your plate, and if you're listening to this while you're folding laundry, or maybe sneaking a minute of peace while the kids nap, I just want to say, I see you. You're doing a lot, and it matters. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like exercise is just out of reach? Like it lives in this imaginary world where people have free time, extra energy, and a childcare backup plan? And meanwhile, you're over here just trying to get through the day without collapsing on the couch by 8 p.m.? If that's you, you are absolutely in the right place today, because we're going to talk about a concept that can totally change how you think about movement and fitness. It's called exercise snacks. And don't worry, I'm not about to tell you to eat protein bars while you're on a treadmill. That's not what this is about. Exercise snacks are little, bite-sized bursts of movement that fit into your actual life. They're short, doable, and surprisingly powerful. And for busy women, especially moms, they can be a game changer. But before we dig into the details, I want to let you know about something I put together for you. If you're craving fitness that actually fits into your real life, not a fantasy version of your life where you magically have an hour of free time every day, I've got a free resource you'll love. It's called Fit and Fabulous, the Busy Mom's Comprehensive Guide to Fitness. And it's full of simple strategies and tips to help you move more, feel better, and actually enjoy it. You can grab it right now at bit.ly/fitfabulousguide. All right, let's talk about why this matters. So here's the thing. We all know that exercise is good for us. No one's debating that. You hear it everywhere. It boosts your energy, strengthens your body, lowers your stress, helps your mood, even helps your sleep. You know that already, but if we know all that, why is it still so hard to do? I think part of it is the picture we carry around in our heads of what real exercise is supposed to look like. Maybe you imagine someone at the gym with their headphones in, doing a 45-minute workout with weights and cardio, or maybe it's that perfectly put together woman on Instagram with her yoga mat and matching outfit, doing an hour-long flow in a spotless living room. And then we compare that to our reality. Sticky floors, kids needing snacks every 10 minutes, endless to-do lists, and exhaustion that feels bone deep. Suddenly, exercise feels like one more impossible thing, and so we don't even start. Can you relate? I know I can. When I first became a mom, I thought, okay, I'll just go back to my normal workout routine once things settle down. But you know what? Things didn't settle down. The baby turned into a toddler, then into a preschooler, and life just stayed full. And instead of moving the way I used to, I found myself sitting more, running on coffee, and feeling more and more drained. And maybe that's where you are too. You're tired, you're anxious, you're relying on caffeine to push through, and when you think about exercise, it just feels like another weight on your shoulders. But here's the truth. Movement isn't something extra you're supposed to tack on once you've checked off everything else. It's part of how your body was designed to function. Without it, your energy tanks, your mind gets foggy, your stress builds, and ironically, that makes everything else harder. So yes, you're busy, yes, your time is limited, but movement is one of the keys to actually feeling better in the middle of all that. The challenge is just finding a way to make it work in real life. Here's where the problem comes in. We live in a culture that loves extremes. It's either go big or go home. Either you're doing hardcore workouts 5 days a week, or you're a couch potato. And because of that, a lot of women, maybe you, end up stuck in this all or nothing trap. You think, well, if I can't do it right, I won't do it at all. And that mindset is exhausting. It keeps you from moving in small ways that would actually make a difference. So, what happens? Days go by, then weeks, and you realize you've barely moved your body at all. Your energy is low, your mood is cranky, and you start to feel guilty on top of it. You start telling yourself stories like, I'm just not disciplined enough, or I'll never get back on track. But, friend, can I tell you something? It's not your fault. You don't lack discipline. What you lack is a strategy that actually fits your life, and that's what we're going to build today. Let's pause and imagine a day in the life of a busy mom. Maybe it looks like this. You wake up already tired because the baby was up in the night. You stumble to the kitchen, pour yourself coffee, and try to gulp it down before the kids start their morning chorus of, Mom, I need this. Breakfast is chaos. The house is loud, and by 9 a.m., you already feel like you've lived a full day. Then there's school drop-off or playtime, errands, laundry, cleaning, maybe work squeezed in somewhere. You look at the clock and it's somehow already 3 p.m. Your energy crashes, so you grab another coffee or maybe something sweet just to keep going. By the time dinner and bedtime roll around, you're completely spent. The thought of pulling out a workout video or driving to the gym, absolutely not happening. So you collapse on the couch, scroll for a bit, and tell yourself, maybe tomorrow, but tomorrow ends up looking exactly the same. Sound familiar? This is the cycle so many of us are in, and it's no wonder we feel depleted. Here's the thing though, what if you didn't need an hour-long workout to break that cycle? What if you could interrupt it with small, snack-sized movements that actually give you more energy instead of taking it away? That's the hope I want to offer you today. Before we dive into what exercise snacks are and how to use them, I want you to hear this. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You are not behind. You are doing the best you can with the season you're in, and that's enough. Exercise snacks aren't about adding more pressure. They're about releasing pressure. They're about showing you that you don't need to overhaul your life to feel better. You just need a new way to look at movement. So if you're listening right now and part of you is thinking, okay, but I'm too tired. I can barely get through the day. How is this even going to help? Stay with me. Because the beauty of this approach is that it meets you right where you are. It doesn't require fancy clothes. It doesn't require equipment. It doesn't require scheduling a babysitter or blocking off an hour of your day. All it requires is you, your body, and a willingness to try something different. Now let's talk about why exercise feels so out of reach in the first place, and what's actually happening in your body when you're stuck in that tired, anxious, coffee-dependent cycle. When you sit for long stretches, and let's be honest, modern life has us sitting way more than our bodies were ever designed for, your muscles basically go to sleep. Your circulation slows. Your body doesn't pump oxygen as effectively. Your blood sugar levels don't regulate as smoothly. And all of that leaves you feeling sluggish, foggy, and yes, desperate for another caffeine boost. And yet, when you're already tired, the idea of exercise feels overwhelming. You think, I don't have the energy for that, so you skip it. But skipping it actually makes you more tired, which makes you less likely to move, which keeps the cycle going. That's the trap. And that's why so many women feel stuck. But here's the encouraging part. You don't have to break out of this trap with a giant, dramatic workout routine. You can break it with tiny interruptions, with little bites of movement that wake your body up, boost your energy, and remind your muscles and your brain that you're alive. Those tiny interruptions, that's what we're calling exercise snacks. And in the next part of this episode, we're going to unpack exactly what they are, why they work, and how you can start using them in your daily life without adding stress. So take a deep breath. You don't have to do everything all at once. You just need to start with one snack. And that's where we're headed. So let's dive into the heart of today's conversation. What in the world are exercise snacks? And why should you, as a busy mama who maybe feels like your plate is already overflowing, care about them? I want you to imagine this with me for a second. Think about the way we usually picture exercise, There's this cultural script we've been fed, right? You drive to the gym, you change into special clothes, you spend an hour doing a workout class, you come home sweaty and shower, and only then do you check the box that says, I moved my body today. And listen, if that's working for you, amazing, keep it up. But for so many women, especially in this season of life with little ones, or with a house that constantly needs tending, or a job that feels never ending, that picture just feels impossible. Now, exercise snacks flip that script completely. Instead of thinking about movement as this big, structured, all or nothing event, we think of it as little, bite sized moments of movement sprinkled throughout your day. Just like you might grab a handful of nuts when you're hungry, instead of sitting down to a full 4-course meal, you can snack on exercise in small, doable bursts instead of waiting until the stars align for that perfect gym session. So here's a super simple definition. Exercise snacks are short, intentional bursts of movement that you weave into the natural flow of your day. We're talking 30 seconds, a minute, maybe 2 minutes at a time. It could be squats while you brush your teeth, a plank while you wait for your coffee to brew, or even a little dance party with your kids between folding laundry piles. The point is, it's movement that doesn't require you to overhaul your life. It fits into the life you already have. And the cool thing, science backs this up in such an encouraging way. Researchers have actually studied these tiny movement breaks and found that they can have a surprisingly big impact on metabolism, cardiovascular health, mood, and even longevity. We'll go deeper into the science in a little bit, but for now, just know that your body doesn't need an hour-long block to benefit from movement. It responds beautifully even to these little nudges. I love that because it completely dismantles the all-or-nothing thinking that so many of us get trapped in. You know what I'm talking about? That voice that says, well, if I can't do a 45-minute workout, why even bother? But when you realize that even a 1-minute movement snack is good for your body, suddenly the barrier feels so much lower. It's like the door to wellness cracks open just enough for you to step inside. Now, I want to pause here and just bring this back to you. If you've been feeling exhausted, like you can't get through the day without that second or third cup of coffee, exercise snacks might sound too simple to actually make a difference. But here's the thing. Movement is one of the most powerful natural energizers we have. It gets your blood flowing, it wakes up your brain, it helps regulate your hormones, and it even changes your mood chemistry. And because these little bursts are so doable, you don't have to wait until you have time to start feeling better. You can start today, right now, in the life you already have. And here's where I get excited about how this connects to the wellness pyramid. You've heard me say before that the wellness pyramid starts with those lifestyle foundations, the things we do every single day that build health over the long term. At the base of that pyramid is movement and metabolism. This is foundational. It's not about perfection or hitting a certain number on the scale or training for a marathon. It's about keeping your body in motion in a way that's sustainable for your season of life. Exercise snacks are a brilliant tool here because they help us make that foundation practical and realistic, not overwhelming. Let's unpack a few of the unique gifts that exercise snacks bring, especially for moms. First, accessibility. No equipment required, no gym membership, no commute, no fancy workout clothes. You can literally be in your pajamas in the kitchen and still get in a movement snack. That removes so many of the excuses and barriers that normally pop up. Second, flexibility. Your day is unpredictable, right? Kids get sick, appointments run late, naps don't happen, the dishwasher floods. When you rely on one big workout block, your whole wellness routine can feel derailed when life throws you a curveball. But when you build your day around little snacks of movement, you've got margin. If one moment doesn't happen, no big deal. Another opportunity will come around. Third, energy regulation. This is a big one. So many moms tell me they feel like their energy crashes hard in the afternoon, or that they're dragging from the moment they wake up. Exercise snacks help break up that sluggishness. It's like giving your body a natural reset button multiple times a day. Even 60 seconds of intentional movement can pull you out of that foggy slump and give you a surprising boost of clarity. And fourth, mindset. I think this one might be the most powerful. When you start to view yourself as someone who moves throughout the day, not just someone who tries to work out, your identity shifts. You go from feeling like you're failing at fitness to realizing, wait a second, I actually am moving my body regularly. I am taking care of myself. And that sense of competence and consistency is such a confidence builder. Now, I know you might be wondering, but is it enough? Can little snacks of exercise really replace a longer, structured workout? And here's my answer. It depends on your goals. If you're training for a half marathon, then no, you'll still need longer sessions. But if your goals are what most of us are craving, more energy, less stress, better mood, a healthier metabolism, and the confidence of taking care of yourself, then yes, absolutely. Exercise snacks are enough to make a difference. Here's a cool study to give you some perspective. Researchers looked at people who climbed a few flights of stairs vigorously, just for 20 to 30 seconds at a time, a few times a day, and guess what? Over the course of weeks, they saw improvements in cardiovascular fitness, similar to what you'd see in people doing traditional workouts. That's huge. It means your heart, your lungs, your metabolism, they're all benefiting even from these tiny, snack-sized efforts. And let's be honest, there's also the psychological relief of knowing you don't have to do it all at once. Because how often do we set ourselves up for failure by imagining this perfect workout routine? And then when life happens, we feel discouraged and give up. With exercise snacks, the bar is low, the wins are frequent, and the consistency builds almost effortlessly. That creates momentum that actually sticks. So here's the big shift I want you to lean into. Instead of waiting for the perfect time to exercise, start looking for little pockets of opportunity throughout your day. Instead of saying, I don't have time to work out, start asking, where can I add a 60-second snack of movement right now? That's the mindset that turns fitness from a burden into a lifestyle. And I want to make this as practical as possible because I know it's one thing to understand the concept and another thing to picture it in your real life. So let's get into some scenarios. Imagine you're standing at the sink waiting for the water to heat up. Try doing calf raises. Waiting for your kids to put their shoes on? Do some wall push-ups. Taking a break from your laptop? Stand up and do a set of squats or even march in place. These little moments add up. By the end of the day, you might realize you've done 20 minutes of movement without ever setting aside workout time. And that's where the beauty lies. Exercise snacks don't compete with your life, they cooperate with it. They honor the season you're in, they meet you in your reality, and they gently elevate your energy, your mood, and your health along the way. In just a minute, we'll go even deeper into why this works scientifically, the brain chemistry, the metabolism, the stress relief. But before we do, I want you to hear this. You are allowed to do fitness in a way that works for you. You don't have to copy what the influencers are doing. You don't have to chase an unrealistic standard. You just need to find what makes you feel more alive in your body, more present with your family, and more grounded in your day. And exercise snacks can be a powerful path to get there. All right, now that we've talked about what exercise snacks are and why they matter in a practical sense, let's go deeper into the why. Because when you understand what's happening inside your body, even in those little 60-second movement breaks, it's incredibly motivating. You start to realize, wow, this isn't just about burning calories or checking off a box. This is about literally changing how my body and brain function. So let's talk about metabolism first. I know that word can feel loaded. We often hear metabolism in the context of weight loss or dieting, but really, metabolism is just the way your body turns food into energy. It's the engine that keeps you going. And here's the thing, movement is one of the most effective ways to keep that engine humming along. When you sit for long stretches, your metabolism slows down, your muscles aren't contracting, your blood sugar regulation gets sluggish, and your body kind of goes into low power mode. That's one of the reasons so many of us feel foggy and tired after sitting for hours. It's not just in your head, your body is literally shifting gears into a slower, less efficient state. Now, when you add an exercise snack, even something as simple as a 1 minute brisk stair climb, you flip the switch back on, your muscles contract, your heart rate increases, blood flow improves, and your cells get the signal to start using energy again. It's like giving your metabolism a little wake up call. And when you do that multiple times a day, you're essentially teaching your body to stay in that on mode more consistently. And there's more. Every time your muscles contract, they release little chemical messengers called myokines. Think of them like text messages that your muscles send out to the rest of your body. These myokines influence things like inflammation, insulin sensitivity, and even how your brain functions. Isn't that wild? Just by doing a set of squats in your kitchen, you're literally sending out signals that reduce inflammation and improve how your body processes energy. That's the kind of behind the scenes science that makes me so excited about this. Now let's talk about energy, because I know that's a pain point for so many of you. Feeling tired, anxious, or running on coffee. This is the daily reality, right? And it's tempting to think that exercise would just make you more tired. But actually, the opposite is true. Here's why. When you move your body, you increase circulation. That means more oxygen and nutrients are delivered to your cells, including your brain cells. You're literally fueling your brain with fresh energy. That's why even a short burst of movement can leave you feeling more awake and alert. On top of that, exercise helps regulate your hormones in a way that stabilizes your energy. Let's take insulin as an example. Insulin is the hormone that helps your body process sugar. When insulin is working well, your energy feels steady. When it's not, you get spikes and crashes, that roller coaster that leaves you reaching for coffee or sugar just to keep going. The beautiful thing is, every time you contract your muscles, you're helping your body use insulin more effectively. That means steadier blood sugar, steadier energy, and fewer of those crashes that derail your day. And then there's cortisol, the stress hormone. Now, cortisol isn't bad in itself. It's designed to help us in short bursts. But when it stays high all the time, it leaves us feeling anxious, wired, and exhausted at the same time. Movement is one of the best natural regulators of cortisol. Short, consistent bursts of exercise tell your body, it's okay, we can reset now. They help lower that chronic stress load so you don't feel like you're constantly on edge. So even though it feels counterintuitive, movement actually gives you energy. It doesn't take it away. That's why people who build a habit of exercise snacks often find themselves needing less caffeine, feeling more clear-headed, and even sleeping better at night. Now let's zoom in on brain health, because this is where things get really exciting. Every time you move your body, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. These are your feel-good chemicals. They lift your mood, they calm anxiety, they make you feel more resilient. And remember, you don't have to run a marathon to get this effect. Even a 2-minute dance break in your living room can trigger this chemical cascade. There's also something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as fertilizer for your brain cells. It helps your brain grow new connections, repair itself, and stay sharp. Movement, even in small doses, boosts BDNF. That means you're not just improving your mood in the moment, you're actually investing in your long-term brain health. You're protecting yourself against brain fog now and against cognitive decline in the future. And I think that's so powerful, especially for moms, because let's be honest, motherhood can make you feel like your brain is in a constant fog. You're juggling a million things, your sleep is fragmented, and your stress is high. Exercise snacks are like little bursts of clarity you can sprinkle into your day. They remind your brain how to function at its best. I also want to point out the emotional and mental ripple effects. When you take a minute to move, you're not just changing your chemistry, you're also sending yourself a message. I matter. My health matters. Even in the middle of this chaotic day, I'm worth 1 minute of care. That kind of self-affirmation, repeated throughout the day, adds up to a huge mindset shift over time. And here's where it ties back beautifully to the wellness pyramid. At the foundation, we have movement and metabolism. And what sits right above that? Rest and stress management. Do you see the connection? Exercise snacks strengthen both layers. They boost your metabolism and help regulate stress and improve rest. They're like a hinge point that connects multiple layers of wellness together. That's why I see them as such a game changer for busy moms. Now, let me give you a really practical visual. Imagine your day as a series of energy waves. Without movement, the waves are jagged. Spikes of energy from caffeine or sugar, followed by crashes that leave you wiped. With exercise snacks sprinkled in, those waves start to smooth out. You get gentle lifts of energy throughout the day, less severe dips, and a steadier overall rhythm. That's what we're after. Not perfection, but steadiness. Not burnout, but resilience. And let's not forget the long-term benefits. Over time, these tiny bursts of movement add up. They support healthy weight management, not because you're obsessively tracking calories, but because your metabolism is more efficient. They protect your heart and your bones. They reduce your risk of chronic diseases like diabetes and hypertension. And maybe most importantly, they set a powerful example for your kids. They grow up seeing that movement is just a natural part of daily life, not a punishment or a chore. I want you to hear this loud and clear. Your body was designed to move, and it was designed to thrive on movement that's woven into the rhythms of your day, not just confined to the walls of a gym. Exercise snacks honor that design. They give your body what it craves in a way that works for your real life. So the next time you feel that afternoon slump coming on, or the next time you feel your anxiety creeping higher, remember, you don't have to wait until tomorrow, or until you have an hour, or until everything is perfectly lined up. You can shift things right now with 1 minute of movement, and that 1 minute is not small, it's powerful. In the next part, we're going to get super practical. I'll share tons of examples of exercise snacks you can try in different contexts, at home, at work, while running errands, even with your kids involved. That way you can start imagining exactly how this could look in your day-to-day life. All right, now let's get really practical, because by now you've heard the concept, you've heard the science, but the big question is, what does this actually look like in my real life? So in this part, I want to paint some very specific pictures of how exercise snacks can weave into different parts of your day. And I'm not just going to throw a list of ideas at you. I want you to see how they can fit into the rhythms you already have, so they don't feel like just another thing on your to-do list. Let's start with mornings, because that's often when the tone of the whole day gets set. You know how chaotic mornings can be, packing lunches, getting kids dressed, finding the missing shoe. It can feel like there's zero time for you, but here's where an exercise snack can slide right in. Imagine you're waiting for the coffee to brew. Instead of scrolling on your phone for those 2 minutes, you do a wall sit, or you hold a plank on the kitchen floor. That tiny burst of strength work gets your blood pumping, wakes up your muscles, and gives you a little hit of confidence before the day even starts. Another morning idea? When you brush your teeth, add some calf raises. It doesn't take any extra time, and it turns an everyday habit into a mini movement ritual. That's what I love about this. You're stacking movement on top of things you're already doing. No extra scheduling required. Now, let's talk about mid-morning. Maybe you've been sitting at your desk for a while, or maybe you've been chasing toddlers around. Either way, this is a great time for a reset snack. One of my favorites is a set of squats. Just stand up, do 10 squats, and notice how your energy shifts. Or if you want to mix it up, try a set of jumping jacks or high knees to get your heart rate up. If you work at a desk, you could also sneak in some chair dips or seated leg lifts. If you're at home, turn on a song and have a 90-second dance party with your kids. Not only will your energy lift, but you'll also get the mood-boosting benefit of laughter and connection. Now let's fast forward to the afternoon. This is prime slump territory, the time when the coffee wears off, the to-do list still looms, and your brain just feels foggy. This is where exercise snacks really shine. Instead of automatically reaching for sugar or caffeine, try a quick burst of movement. Go outside and walk briskly to the end of the block and back. Do a set of stair climbs in your house. Try a 60-second plank hold. Anything that gets your heart rate up a bit and reminds your body, hey, we're awake, we're capable, we've got this. Here's a fun one for the afternoon. Put on your favorite upbeat song and just move for the length of that one track. It might be 3 minutes, it might be 5, but it's still a snack, short, doable, and energizing. Now, if you're a mama with little ones, afternoons can also be that tricky window where everyone is cranky and restless. Here's where you can make exercise snacks a family thing. Try animal walks across the living room. Bear crawls, crab walks, frog jumps. Kids love it. You'll get your heart rate up, and suddenly what felt like chaos turns into play. Okay, let's talk about evenings. This is where a lot of us either collapse on the couch or get caught up in the endless loop of chores. But even here, exercise snacks can fit in without draining you. In fact, they can help you release some of the stress you've been carrying all day. Try this. While you're waiting for dinner to cook, do some gentle stretching or yoga poses. It doesn't have to be intense. Just moving your body intentionally helps you transition out of go mode and into a calmer evening rhythm. Or, after you tuck the kids into bed, take 2 minutes to do a few core exercises. Maybe some bridges, some side planks, a little bit of balance work. It doesn't just support your physical body, it also tells your mind, I didn't forget about me today. That's a powerful note to end the day on. Now let's also think about exercise snacks in less obvious places, like when you're running errands, waiting in line at the store, do some subtle calf raises, sitting in the car waiting for school pickup, squeeze your glutes, or engage your abs for 30 seconds at a time. These may seem small, but remember, the science says they count. Even chores can be transformed into exercise snacks. Carrying laundry baskets? Turn it into a few extra squats. Vacuuming? Lunge as you go. Unloading groceries? Use those bags as makeshift weights for a quick set of curls. Movement doesn't have to be separate from your life. It can be integrated. Now let's talk about some categories of snacks so you can mix and match depending on what you need. Category 1, strength snacks. These are things like squats, lunges, push-ups, planks, dips. They build muscle, which is crucial for metabolism, bone health, and everyday strength, and they don't require any equipment. Category 2, cardio snacks. Think jumping jacks, stair climbs, jogging in place, dancing. These get your heart rate up, improve circulation, and give you that energizing rush. Category 3, flexibility and mobility snacks. Things like stretching your hamstrings, doing a spinal twist, rolling your shoulders, or flowing through a couple of yoga poses. These keep your body limber and reduce stiffness from sitting. Category 4, mind-body snacks. This might be a minute of deep breathing combined with gentle movement, or a short grounding exercise where you roll your shoulders back and open your chest. These not only move your body, but also calm your nervous system. And here's a bonus, combine them. Do 30 seconds of squats, 30 seconds of push-ups, and a quick stretch. That's a full body exercise snack in under 2 minutes. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, okay, but will I actually remember to do these? That's where habit stacking comes in. Habit stacking is the idea of attaching a new habit to something you already do consistently. So pair exercise snacks with daily cues. For example, while the coffee is brewing, wall sit. After brushing teeth, calf raises. Before checking email, 10 squats. While waiting for the kids at pickup, seated core engagement. Before bed, gentle stretching. When you tie movement to existing habits, it becomes automatic. You don't have to think about it, you just do it. Another tip, set reminders. Use your phone to buzz you once every couple of hours as a cue to stand up and move. Over time, your body will start to crave that reset, and you won't need the reminder anymore. And let's not forget the fun factor. If you dread it, you won't do it. So make your exercise snacks playful. Put on music you love, get your kids involved, challenge yourself with silly little games like how many squats can I do before the microwave beeps? Make it light, make it joyful, and it won't feel like work. I also want to touch on the idea of progression because, yes, even though these are just snacks, you can still build strength and stamina over time. Maybe at first you can only hold a plank for 20 seconds. That's fine, keep at it, and one day you'll surprise yourself by holding it for a full minute. Those little wins build momentum, and momentum keeps you going. And here's something important. Give yourself permission to start small. Don't wait until you feel fit enough or ready. The beauty of exercise snacks is that they meet you exactly where you are. Whether you've been out of the fitness game for years or whether you're already active but strapped for time, this works. So, let's recap the practicality here. Exercise snacks can slide into mornings, afternoons, evenings, errands, chores, literally anywhere. They can be strength, cardio, flexibility, or mind-body focused. They can be habit stacked with things you already do. They can involve your kids, your chores, or just yourself. And they can grow with you as you get stronger and more consistent. The takeaway is this: movement doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to mean rearranging your whole life. It can be as simple as seizing the little windows of time that are already there. And those little windows, when added up, can transform your energy, your mood, and your health in ways that are far bigger than they look. In the next part, we're going to talk about mindset, because let's be real, even with all the science and all the practical tips, sometimes the biggest barrier is in our own heads. The guilt, the comparison, the belief that if we can't do it perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. We're going to dismantle those lies and replace them with truths that will keep you moving forward. Now let's have a heart-to-heart about the mindset side of this, because let's be honest, knowledge is only half the battle. You can know that movement is good for you, that exercise snacks are beneficial, that all of this makes sense, but if the stories in your head are holding you back, it's really hard to put this into practice. I want to talk about guilt, because I know so many of us carry guilt around movement. Maybe you've told yourself, I should be working out more. Maybe you felt like, I'm not doing enough. I'm not as fit as I should be, and that guilt just hangs heavy, doesn't it? It's like this shadow that follows you around, whispering that you're falling short. But here's the thing, friend. Guilt doesn't move you forward. Grace does. Small steps do. When you let go of the idea that you have to do fitness perfectly, that's when you start actually making progress. Exercise snacks are beautiful because they don't require perfection. They require presence. A minute here, 2 minutes there, it all adds up. And instead of guilt, you start to feel pride. You start to see yourself as a woman who takes small, steady action. Now, let's tackle the all-or-nothing mindset. This one's sneaky. It shows up like this. If I can't go to the gym for an hour, it's not worth it. If I can't do a full class, why bother? And because life is busy and unpredictable, that all-or-nothing thinking usually means we do nothing. We wait until things are perfect. Spoiler alert, they rarely are. Here's a reframe I want you to try on. Instead of all or nothing, think always something. What if you believe that something is always better than nothing? That 3 minutes of movement has value. That a quick stretch resets your nervous system. That marching in place while your toddler brushes their teeth actually matters. Because it does. When you start to live with an always something mindset, you give yourself permission to win every single day. And that creates momentum. Momentum is what keeps you going, even on the hard days. Now let's talk about comparison. Oh, comparison. It's so easy to scroll Instagram or TikTok and see women doing perfect workouts in beautiful matching outfits with no kids climbing on them, in spotless living rooms, and suddenly you're thinking, why can't I be like that? Why can't I get it together? But friend, hear me on this. That's not real life. Real life is messy. Real life is kids interrupting. Real life is squeezing in movement between stirring the soup and folding the laundry. And that's okay. That's beautiful. Your fitness doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It only has to work for you. I'll share a little personal example here. There was a season where I used to beat myself up because I couldn't get through a full 30-minute workout video without being interrupted. I'd get frustrated, stop, and then tell myself it wasn't worth it. But once I shifted my mindset, once I allowed myself to do 10 minutes or even 5 minutes and call it a win, everything changed. I started feeling more consistent, more proud, more energized, and that built confidence. Which brings me to another point: consistency over intensity. I know we've all heard that phrase before, but it's really true. Intense workouts here and there don't change your life. Consistent movement, even if it's tiny, does. Exercise snacks build consistency into your day, almost like brushing your teeth. You wouldn't skip brushing your teeth because you only had 2 minutes, right? You'd still do it. Movement can be the same. Let's dive into habit stacking for a minute, because this is one of the simplest ways to actually make exercise snacks stick. Habit stacking just means you attach a new habit to something you already do automatically. For example, you already brush your teeth every morning and night. What if after brushing your teeth you did 10 squats? That's a snack. You already make coffee every morning. What if while the coffee brews, you did a minute of calf raises at the counter? That's a snack. By stacking movement onto habits you already have, you take out the decision making. You don't have to think about it, you just do it. And before you know it, it's part of your rhythm. Now let's talk identity. This is a deeper mindset shift, but it's powerful. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to work out more," what if you started saying, "I'm the kind of woman who moves her body every day"? That small language shift matters, because your actions follow your identity. If you believe you're someone who moves, you'll naturally find ways to live that out. Exercise snacks make it easy to step into that identity without overwhelm. And listen, I know there will be days where you feel tired or anxious or just not in the mood. That's normal. But even on those days, a tiny snack of movement can shift your whole energy. Think of it like lighting a candle in a dark room. It doesn't make the darkness go away completely, but it changes the space. It brings light. That's what a minute or two of movement can do for your body, your mind, your soul. Now, let's circle back to that craving for energy and calm. So many of us are running on coffee, running on fumes, wishing we could feel clear-headed and calm instead of foggy and frazzled. Movement is one of the most underused, natural tools we have for that. When you reframe exercise as little snacks sprinkled throughout your day, suddenly energy and calm feel so much more reachable. You don't need a 2-hour break in your schedule. You just need to stand up, stretch, breathe, move. Let me give you a few mantras you can carry with you. These are simple mindset anchors that can keep you grounded when the excuses start creeping in. Number 1, something is always better than nothing. Number 2, I move because I love my body, not because I hate it. Number 3, I am worthy of taking care of myself, even in small ways. Number 4, movement is medicine. Number 5, every step counts. You can pick one of these or create your own and let it be the voice that guides you instead of guilt or comparison. And finally, I want to encourage you to celebrate yourself. Celebrate the small wins. Did you stretch for 2 minutes today? That counts. Did you walk up the stairs instead of taking the elevator? That counts. Did you dance to one song while cooking dinner? That counts. Let yourself feel proud of those things, because when you celebrate them, you reinforce them, and that's what builds lasting habits. So, as you go about your week, I want you to practice grace, not guilt. I want you to catch the all or nothing thoughts and replace them with always something. I want you to stop comparing and start honoring the season you're in. And I want you to step into the identity of a woman who moves, not perfectly, not like anyone else, but faithfully in the little ways that add up to so much more. You are already enough. You don't need to earn your worth through workouts. But when you choose to move, even in tiny snacks, you're giving yourself the gift of energy, clarity, and calm. And you deserve that. All right, friend, we're at the final stretch, and I want to bring everything together so it really lands in a way that's actionable, encouraging, and empowering for you. We've talked about what exercise snacks are, why they matter scientifically, how they impact metabolism, energy, and brain function, and how you can weave them seamlessly into your day. We've also spent a good chunk of time on mindset because we know that even with all the knowledge and practical tools, what's often holding us back is how we think and feel about movement. So let's start by tying this all back to the wellness pyramid. Remember, at the base of that pyramid are the lifestyle foundations, the things that support everything else in your health. Movement and metabolism sit right near the foundation. And that's exactly why exercise snacks are such a perfect fit. They reinforce that foundation without requiring you to carve out a big chunk of time or restructure your whole life. Think of it like building a house. The foundation doesn't have to be perfect from day one, but it does need to be consistent. Exercise snacks are like little bricks in that foundation. Each time you move your body, each mini burst, each set of squats, each quick stretch, you're laying a brick. Over time, those bricks add up to a strong, solid base that supports everything else: your energy, your mood, your ability to manage stress, and even the health of your relationships. Because when you feel good in your body, it radiates outward. And let's talk about sustainability. One of the biggest reasons women give up on fitness is that it feels like too much, too rigid, too time consuming, too draining. Exercise snacks bypass all of that. They honor the reality of your life, the chaos, the unpredictability, and still deliver results. They make wellness practical. They make self care possible. And that, my friend, is exactly what the busy mom's life needs. I want to give you a real world scenario. Imagine your typical day: the morning chaos, the school runs, work or household tasks, errands, meal prep, maybe even a few minutes to scroll social media in between. Somewhere in there, you squeeze in a 2-minute plank, some calf raises at the sink, or a 3-minute dance break with your kids. It might not feel like much, but by the end of the day, you've moved your body multiple times. You've boosted your metabolism, released feel-good brain chemicals, and reminded yourself that you matter. That, my friend, is real progress. Now, I know you're probably thinking, but Cherilyn, will this really make a difference long term? And the answer is a resounding yes. It's all about consistency. Just like brushing your teeth, these small, repeated actions accumulate over time. The research is clear. Short, frequent bouts of activity improve cardiovascular health, blood sugar regulation, mood, strength, and even brain function. And when you combine that with the mindset shifts we discussed, grace over guilt, always something over all or nothing, you create a system that works not just for weeks, but for life. Let's revisit those key benefits one more time, because it's so easy to forget them in the middle of a busy day. 1. Energy. Tiny bursts of movement reset your metabolism and increase circulation, giving you more natural, sustainable energy. 2. Mood. Movement triggers dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, reducing stress and lifting your mental state. 3. Metabolism. Your body uses energy more efficiently, supporting healthy weight management and overall vitality. 4. Brain health. Movement increases BDNF, which promotes new neural connections, sharpens focus, and helps protect your cognitive function over time. 5. Consistency and confidence. Small wins build momentum, which reinforces your identity as someone who takes care of herself, even in the midst of life's chaos. Now let's talk about implementation. You've got the why, the science, and the mindset. You've got examples for morning, afternoon, evening, chores, errands, and kid-inclusive movement. What's left is the how to start today plan. Step 1. Pick 2 or 3 cues in your day where you can insert a snack. It could be coffee brewing in the morning, brushing your teeth, or waiting for the microwave. Start there. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just pick a few and make them automatic. Step 2. Choose your snacks: strength, cardio, flexibility, or mind-body. You don't need fancy equipment. You just need your body and a tiny bit of space. Keep a list handy so you don't have to think too hard. You can even write them on sticky notes in your kitchen or bathroom as reminders. Step 3, stack habits and set reminders. Habit stacking is key because it removes the decision-making barrier. If you need an extra nudge, use phone alarms or sticky notes to cue yourself until the habit sticks. Step 4, celebrate your wins. Every single movement counts. Take a mental note or jot it down in a journal. Feel proud. Let it reinforce your identity as someone who moves consistently. Step 5, adjust and evolve. As you get stronger and more consistent, challenge yourself with slightly longer or more intense snacks. Maybe a 60-second plank turns into 90 seconds, or calf raises become single leg variations. Progress, not perfection, is the name of the game. And of course, I want to remind you about a tool I've created to support you along the way. My free ebook, Fit and Fabulous, The Busy Mom's Comprehensive Guide to Fitness, is full of tips, routines, and inspiration for women just like you who want to integrate movement into their day without overwhelm. You can grab it at bit.ly/fitfabulousguide. It's a practical companion to everything we've discussed today. It breaks down exercises into approachable steps, shows you how to build them into your day, and even gives you little habit stacking strategies so you don't have to think about it, you just do it. Now, let's bring it all home with a mindset reinforcement. You are capable. You are worthy. You are allowed to prioritize your energy, clarity, and calm, even in small, snack-sized increments. You don't need perfection. You don't need a gym. You just need the willingness to move, to start small, and to be consistent. Imagine the ripple effect. You feel more energized, more present with your kids, more focused at work, calmer in the evenings. You set an example for your family that wellness doesn't have to be intimidating. It can be natural, joyful, and integrated into daily life. You shift from feeling guilty about not working out enough to feeling proud of every small win you earn, and that is life-changing. So as you step into this week, I want you to pick one small action, one exercise snack, one cue, one moment to move, and I want you to do it right now in your imagination. Even if you can't physically do it yet, visualize yourself standing up, taking that minute for yourself, feeling your muscles engage, your heart rate rise just a bit, your energy shift. That visualization alone begins to set the habit. And then, when you can, take that tiny action for real. The next time your coffee is brewing, the next time the kids are occupied, the next time you're waiting for a meal to heat, take that minute. That is your power moment. That is your self-care. That is your foundation. Before we wrap up, let's quickly review. Exercise snacks are short bursts of movement integrated into daily life. They support metabolism, energy, mood, and brain health. They fit your lifestyle instead of requiring a perfect block of time. They reinforce your identity as someone who moves and takes care of herself. And when done consistently, they lay a strong foundation for overall wellness and long-term health. So, my friend, this is your invitation. Start small, stack your habits, celebrate the wins, embrace grace over guilt, step into the identity of a woman who moves, and let those tiny snacks of movement transform not just your day, but your life, 1 minute at a time. And don't forget, for even more support and practical guidance, grab your free copy of Fit and Fabulous, The Busy Mom's Comprehensive Guide to Fitness at bit.ly/fitfabulousguide. You've got this. You really do. And I can't wait for you to experience the energy, clarity, and calm that comes from honoring your body with movement, even in the tiniest, most manageable bites. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Keep moving, keep showing up for yourself, and remember, every snack counts.
This show is made possible through my work with doTERRA. If you're curious about simple, natural ways to care for your health and home, or even exploring the possibility of building your own wellness business, check out my website at newviewessentials.com. You'll find a link in the show notes to learn more. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk next time on New View, New Life.
The sky turns gold Every step feels like a brand new start. New horizons call my name. Nothing stays the same. Change the view, change the game. The river knows where it needs to flow. The seeds we plant in time will grow. Life's a path, not a map to hold. New horizons call my name. Nothing stays the same. Change the view, change the game.